Shout out to everybody in the village. But what if I told y'all you can become a millionaire without quitting your job, hitting the lottery, or going viral on YouTube or any other social media platforms? There is really a such thing as stacking quietly and making money while you work your everyday 9 to 5 job. So today we're going to talk about how anybody, even you, can become a millionaire just by doing a couple simple things. Welcome to Wealthy Wednesdays. This is the Black Wealth Project production. I'm Kamari. We got our brothers Jimmy and Corey here today.
I think you meant the Black Wolf. I think you meant Black Wolf Rebels, but I digress.
Black Wealth Project?
Black Wealth Rebels.
But what did I say? I'm asking you, what did
You
I
said,
say?
oh yeah, you said project. You know, it's all good though. That's
It's
family.
all
It's all good.
That's still family.
Yeah. And thank you for stepping on the intro. But it's all good. You could have told me later, but I know you live for embarrass me. But listen, before we get started with all the shenanigans, I'm gonna give a big shout out to the brother Jim. He did his big one today. He was out there with the kids, drugged me out there early in the morning. But he did the damn thing today, y'all. He did the damn thing today, y'all.
Appreciate you, good brother.
Yep.
It's trying to make Philly great again. But no, we had a ball with the youngsters in the behind the wall and enjoy our time as we always do, man. But it was definitely dope, man. And thank you for coming up, and supporting me out there, good brother. It was dope. So
of course, but hold on. As everybody's coming in, good morning. Kamari here, 1/3 of the Black Wealth Rebels, getting ready to go downtown in Philadelphia, West Philly, to go to the Juvenile Justice Center. About to meet up with Jimmy and I think Karan, and we're going to talk to some of the youth here. So come on over to the other side and I'll tell you all about it.
You cooked up a little video.
Oh, hold on. Oh, it messed up. Good morning. All right. I was rushing. I was trying to get it together. But listen, we got footage. I'm going to show it throughout the show. Again, Jimmy did a great job. And we had a ball. I really enjoyed myself.
No, that was dumb.
Steve, don't start with the bullshit, man. Start down with
donations.
Listen, I can do donations, but I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it now. I started doing video in the car way before Umar was even thinking about doing video in the car. It's documented.
How far back your video in the car go, bro?
It's documented. Go back, check my resume. If I'm lying, I'm flying. That's all I got.
How far back your car videos go, bro?
They go back.
I mean, because I got some on YouTube.
But we're not talking about you. We talking about me.
Oh,
I just gave you your props. I gave you props.
You're right. I mean everything about me. You're right.
What's up, people? What up?
What's really good, y'all? Thank y'all for pulling up. I see a lot of our folks coming in the building, man, and that's definitely appreciated, man. Shout out.
I'm trying something a little bit different. The comments are actually on stage.
I know. I peeped that. I peeped that.
Yeah, so that's a new feature that they came out with, and I just said, sure, let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I saw that today. I was like, oh, that's kind of dope.
Yeah, what do y'all think about that? But good evening to everybody. And again, tonight we are going to be talking about how to become a millionaire, even you. So, but what do y'all think about this on air? It's kind of weird.
They trying to get that Twitch energy out here, man. Yo, I want to shout out. I want to give a special shout out. I want to give a special shout out to one of our village members, our brothers. I want to shout out Jarrell. I'll put up a little bit of information about our camp that's coming up. We still are, locking down all the logistics right now. And Jarrell right away sent a donation in to help, for the
donation.
Because everybody know that we do this out of pocket. We don't ask for anything. Just people in our community really help us do this. And we model ourselves off of the Panthers. So we feed the kids. We play games with the kids. We provide a space for them.
I don't model myself after the Panthers, but go ahead.
I'm talking about the camp specifically.
Not the camp. Okay, I'm sorry.
That was kind of like the inspiration when we first started. That's all I'm saying, bro. I'm not saying you model yourself or I model myself. You know what I'm saying?
I got it.
I'm Tupac Shakur. I'm my own person. With all that being said, Jarrell stepped up right away, sent that chicken through. So I want to give Jarrell a special shout out because he was a member of the village. And he looked out already. And I'm like, damn, we didn't really get fully into the mix, but we already got people looking out. And our folks don't play about us, man. That's one thing I could say. about everything that we do is I'm very proud of the work we do. And, you know, we don't have the biggest numbers in terms of following and all that kind of stuff. But the folks that we do have that really rock with us, they don't play about us. And when we, you know, do things for the community, they always step up, always, bro. So shout out to Jarrell and shout out to everybody else who will, because I know that every year when we put the call out, it just is what it is. And this will be our 11th year of doing this. And this year is going to be special because, man, we got locations fighting over us at this point. So we're just trying to figure out what works best for us, but, you know, we'll put the address and everything out, you know, probably like, you know, by next week by the latest, but everything is looking good, man. So that's cool.
Good.
No, man. Listen, though.
So I think.
Go ahead, Kamari. You got it.
No, I think I got it, but go ahead, John. What you was about to say?
No, I was just going to say, man, I'm on a high right now because this morning, like I said, like Kamari said, we were at the Juvenile Justice Center. We spent time with the youth behind the wall. We got to build with them, talk about finance, life, hear their stories, tell them stories. And it was just an overall experience because I always talk about they bring us there to kind of like, you know, share with them, but I always learn from them. And another thing, man, I leave every time just feeling thankful and grateful for what I do have because everybody's situation
good morning.
Isn't, you know, right here. It is. Oh, okay. We're going to see the full video now? Okay, I see.
Yo, don't even looking at that dude again.
Yeah.
Walk forward, Jimmy. Walk forward. No, you.
Oh, I ain't even recording him. All right, so I'm gonna put you on the pen. You said I got your consent, right? You said I got your consent, right? Full consent. All right.
So this me here with the high-tech glasses.
I got. Yeah, you said I got a consent. That's what I said. All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah.
I mean, but it was great. Just, you know, we had some real talk. We'll get into that in a minute. A lot of people want to buy packs and get them blickies, but that's where they at. But it was also good to see them. It was good to see them be kids too. Like in that moment, them had his super all-star tech glasses on, and he was able to capture that moment.
Yeah, man. So like, salute to the youth, man. You know, I'm always rooting for him, trying to help him as much as possible. And you know, we can continue to do work over there, man. And you know, shout out to the Philly legend we saw in the building, man. Who's in there now?
Yeah, I didn't peep that. Yeah,
Kamari and people, he was speaking to us and everything. I'm like, Kamari, yes, that's Spado right there. Shout out to Spado, man.
Spado was dope too.
One of the nicest, but he was in there too. So there was a lot of folks in there, man. A lot of politicians, everything trying to do their thing, but it was dope though. Dope experience. And by the way, we back outside again Friday speaking to Thomas Mifflin School. We're gonna go do a little presentation for the kids over there. So we are outside in the community like crazy this summer. In June 14th is the big day though. For those that can make it or that are in the area, please pull up on June 14th. Support your boys on June 14th. It's not really about us because our event is free. We're not charging money. We're not asking for donations or anything. We just want you to come out and support a Black-owned business and network with us, man. Because the thing about our events, which I will say, is that when you come to our events, you never know who is going to be in the building. Like we got, matter of fact, did that brother win yesterday? We had a brother that ran for judge. I didn't even check to see if he won. Nobody really voted, but I mean, we have lawyers. We got financial advisors. We got
judges singing our praises, man.
You say who? Yeah,
we got judges. We got judges singing our praises.
I say all that to say when you come to our events, man, you know, we're gonna have the for the lack of a better term, we want the talented 10th in the building. So you might be able to bust some moves, man. So please come out June 14th, Coffee, Creams, and Dreams. What is it? What's the address? I know it's on Fair right now. Is it 1452 or 1552?
I don't know. Don't give me the line.
15th in Fairmount, Coffee, Creams, and Dreams. Pull up June 14th. Kick it with your boys. But I shall pass the floor to Kamari to get us started with today's show.
Oh, we gonna keep talking about this stuff. I
know I'll be all over the place with my promotion game, but we be outside, man. I want to make sure that, you know, Oh, Don got an episode on the financial grill. I definitely got to check out that.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Because
It's funny. Yeah, definitely got to check that out. Matter of fact, Lawrence just sitting there directly too.
There we go. Now we cooking.
There's a flyer right there.
Now we cooking with grease. 1436. That's what it is. 1436 Fairmount Ave. You know what I'm saying? And we got Joe Wilson, the president of IB Big Investment, going to join us for a pod class.
Yep, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a funky good time.
Listen, man.
We're gonna have a pod.
Before we get going, I just want to speak to everybody real quick before we get going.
Yes.
What up, Shelby?
Shelby, what's really good?
What's up, Zeddy? How are you? Welcome. Don Johnson's in the building. Steve, I'm gonna say hi to you, Steve, even though you started with the slander already.
Steve does nothing but speak the truth, man. Steve speaks truth to power, man.
What? So this is truth? This is truth?
I mean, I don't know. I gotta go back and do my research.
What up, Andog?
It's really good.
Yes. We Jimmy and Corey do it. They just let me hang out with them every now and again.
Yeah, don't do that, bro. Listen, man, me and Corey have done it several times, but this is something that we do all the time. But we told Kamari he got to pull up, and Kamari going with us next year too. You know,
we'll see. Compliment. I love the kids, but I might be on vacation somewhere. But if I'm here, I'm there. If I'm here, I'm there.
He come on vacation next year, man.
Listen. Life is to be lived.
We're getting too much money, man. And by the way, Corey, he played me today too, Corey.
What happened?
Tell you how you played me today, man.
Played him hard.
Pause.
I pulled out my big one. Pause.
Oh. What just happened? Oh, come on, cuz. What happened here?
Tell him what I did to you, Jim. Tell him.
We went to lunch at our spot, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to pick the tab up because, that's what I do. Like, I'm trying to get these sats back. So the waitress comes over with the actual, the bill and whatnot. I'm like, pass me the bill. So she passed me the bill. While she's passing me the bill, he throws her his card. I just handed it to her. So I told her, I'm like, yo, I got the bill, my pay. She was like, no, he's my regular, so I'm just going to take his card. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Why are you stunting on us?
Now, Jim, you could run with this joke a little bit more. You slipping right now.
I didn't let me finish. I was going to say
you slipping right now. I mean, come on.
The Mayo sister definitely said he's my regular. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess when he goes there, that's the waitress he asked for. I don't know. Like, maybe he,
Really?
Maybe he on his RG3 joint. I don't know. I don't know. He
Wow.
Anyway.
That one left real quick.
I still had to say he played me today, but it's all good. Yeah,
all right, Steve. Yes, it's going crazy. What's it at right now, Jim?
Last I checked, we cracked 110. We was over 110. Let me see where we at right now. We dropped a little bit. We back at 109.
Nice.
People are saying like, just think of
Jimmy was just talking about you.
Yeah. That's listen, man. Part of the village, man. We definitely appreciate it.
What up, Rich?
Rich was really good.
As a matter of fact, hold on. I think I did this, but that's for Jarrell. Thank you for the donation, Jarrell. Appreciate that.
Listen, man, the village is growing. I'm so proud of the village, man. Get some more folks in there, man. Send it to your family and friends, man. Tell them it's a free tier if they want to join the free tier. We're just trying to get the numbers up in the village. That is wonderful. Financially supporting a program for children. Congratulations. Thank you, Miss Edie.
Now, Miss Edie, I asked you to pull up on Friday. I didn't see you. I don't know if maybe you watched the replay. But shout out to Miss Edie because she sponsored Friday's Bitcoin giveaway. So shout out to Miss Edie.
Miss Edie, we definitely gave you a shout on Friday, and thank you so much. That was amazing.
We kind of got away. Jim kind of got away with it. She says, they allowed you to record.
Yeah, so those kids gave us their consent. That's why I said it on the video. Like, we got your consent.
And they were over 18, I believe, right? Those were.
Yeah.
Because we had multiple classes today. All of
No,
them wasn't over 18.
That was the one class with the eldest kids, and they gave us their consent. They was like, "You got our consent." So that's what that was about. So Jamil, I don't think they're going to put a full video out. They did take a lot of stills and footage, but like I said, a lot of the classes we went to, the kids weren't 18, didn't give, so that was just a small clip of the older kids that gave us consent. So I don't think the full video will come out.
If we were going to do something, more bigger, I didn't even think we was going to be able to record because they took our phones. They took a lot of stuff, our keys. We couldn't bring that back there. I mean, they really are locked down.
Yeah.
So, and me and Jim, I was going to do a recap afterwards, but time got away from us, so we recapping right now. So real quick, Jim, what did you think about today?
I always have a great time doing that. Again, like I said earlier, is I take just as much away from them as I give out to them, Pauls, like in terms of just knowledge, and also get to share that experience and hearing some of their stories. And it just makes me grateful for my village and what I do have. Makes me feel like I need to do more, because one thing I realize is specifically in Philadelphia, we got folks online who do nothing but type online about how bad things are. This is going on and that's going on, but they don't do
Twitter
anything.
fingers being
They don't actually do anything. And one of the things you learn from talking to those kids is they don't feel heard. And a lot of them just want attention. They want someone to talk to them and hear their perspective. So for me, it's always empowering and it's motivating, right? And I look forward to the other experience we're going to have Friday when we go to the school, because again, spending time with the youth and pouring into the youth, you never know, man. Like some of those kids, like I was telling you earlier, like we've been doing it for so many years that some kids, they end up back in the system. They no longer with us, but it's always about just catching that one kid or helping a couple kids change their life. And I got those testimonials as well. Is all worth it. It's definitely all worth it, man. Like, shared experience is everything, man. So, something we're going to continue to do, continue to build on. And listen, by the way, if you're in the area and you got like even if you're not in the area, you got a school or something you need us to come speak to or come share some energy with, let us know. That's what we do.
Now, one thing I thought was really interesting today, right? So in that tier, in that pod, that was where they lived, the one we just showed. Two of the kids was kind of going back and forth about, you said you wasn't ever coming back here again. Now you back. And he was like, I've been back too. So recidivism, the in and out of the prison system thing is really crazy. But they were holding themselves accountable a little bit. Yeah,
yes, they were. Yeah. Shout out to those young brothers, man. I'm wishing nothing but the best, man, and it's hoping for the best, man. But it's definitely dope. Check out Don's interview on the Financial Griot podcast. Shout out to Lawrence.
All right. That's our brother. Shout out to Lawrence and Don.
And shout out to Don. Don is our guy. So I'm checking that out. I'm downloading that to listen to it tomorrow.
Absolutely. And they're gonna have a good time. I can tell them too gonna have a good time. But it's funny, I've been thinking about it. I would love to open the floor up to more of y'all in the village for y'all that want to come on and chop it up with us sometimes.
Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
Definitely start doing that on Fridays. What up, Champ?
Champ was really good.
All right, Jarrell says, damn, didn't expect a shout out, but thanks.
Yeah, bro, much appreciated. Listen, man, Jarrell, it is what it is, bro. You deserve it, bro, because you stepped up already, and we appreciate you being a part of our village, man. Definitely.
Armando says, anyone with discipline can be a millionaire. You'd be interested. Some of these stories we heard today when we was with the youth, yes, maybe in theory, but some of these life experiences of some of these kids,
man, I felt so bad for the one brother that shared with us, I'm supposed to be going already, like in terms of his case. And I'm like, well, when you gonna leave? When you getting out? He was like, I don't have nowhere to go. Foster kid with nowhere to go. I'm like, damn.
It's wild.
So he's literally staying in prison because he has nowhere else to go. Like, man, you talk about hearing stories that you just feel thankful for. It's it's crazy out here, man. Like people's life experiences. A lot of times we be in our bubbles and we don't realize the kind of trauma and things that people deal with.
Yep.
Damn, that's wild as hell.
Come on, Miss Edie. I mean, I know Don said no diddy, but come on, Miss Edie.
That was out of pocket.
Yes, pause was necessary. He pulled out the big one. Pause. Listen. I had to show Jimmy who Daddy was.
Hey,
$40 date. All right. Put a big black baby in it. Some, oh, God. I don't even know what. Oh, y'all talking about RG3. Okay. I've only saw some of that. Only clips. I'm not even
He loves
following
him
it.
up.
I'm not even
He loves
following it.
him up like RG3. And listen, that's what she said. She said he's one of my regulars. So, you know.
Here we go. There we go. Yep. We appreciate you, Ms. Edie. I'm sorry, so many things going on. No sorry, no sorries, no apologies needed. We appreciate you. Yep. What up, Daniel?
What's good, Dan? How are you?
Yes, people complain and don't participate. I am currently collaborating with a brand to plan and host a back to school fair. I already have it confirmed the mobile dentist truck. Yo, that's dope.
That's dope. That's dope.
That is dope.
Say how about Kamari be stunting on me. Kamari, I mean, randomly, like, yeah, you know, went to the Brooklyn Chop House for dinner and whatnot. Like, Kamari be out here getting too much money, man.
Well, here's the thing. Brooklyn Chop House wasn't even in Brooklyn. It was in Manhattan.
How about that? Is that like a second location, or that's just what they did?
I don't know. I don't know. But it's black owned, and I loved it. The steak was phenomenal, and I had to get down.
Dope.
Yep.
That's a spot spell check, yeah.
Okay.
What you doing Memorial Day? You throw us a meat in the grill. All right, so Memorial Day is what? Monday? Monday coming up? Is this upcoming weekend? So what do I got planned, man? So my birthday is on the 27th, right? Crazy part is for my birthday, I might be spending my birthday doing some community work as well. But the following, you know, next week, I'm out of here. I'm going to Aruba for a couple days. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Oh, somebody's stunting.
Listen, my wife taking me for my birthday. She's paying for it.
Listen, man, I love Aruba. I've only been once, but I love Aruba. My first time going to Aruba, I'd never been out of the country. And if you're from Philly, you know, we had Wildwood, we had Atlantic City. Wasn't nothing sexy, wasn't nothing fun about Atlantic City and Wildwood beaches. They were dirty, they were needle infested. It's crazy. I went to Aruba, man. That ocean was crazy.
Hey, listen, man.
And then I became a beach fan. What up, K-Lag?
Chad, what's really good?
What'd you say,
Kamari
Corey?
was a fan of the views at the beach. He wasn't no fan of the beach. Kamari, don't let the smooth taste fool you. Kamari was a fan of the views at the beach.
So listen, that is a fact. I went because when I went during the Tom Joyner cruise, or Tom Joyner was in America. He had a show in Aruba with Sinbad, right after Sinbad. Some of y'all might not remember all that. That's a couple years ago. So we going back to like 05, 06, somewhere around there. Excuse me, 95, 96. And yes, the views were very lovely. I'll have to go pull out some of the pictures sometimes.
It's going for a quick little getaway, you know what I'm saying? You know, for the birthday and whatnot, but that's next week.
All right, what's going on with Kamari? That was flagrant. Hey, man, just having a little fun with y'all. Y'all know I don't care nothing about no damn pause. I'm too old for that shit.
Geez, nowhere to go. There's a problem. We can provide a solution. Would you all want to become a foster parent? I'm afraid to share space with anyone. I worked in foster care for over 25 years. I was sharing a story with Kamari this morning, right?
Yeah.
Literally this morning, right? So my wife and I don't have kids, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I had an experience last week that actually made me think about that. I was at a family barbecue, and one of my aunts, one of my wife's aunts, rather, does foster care, and she was telling me a story about one of her foster kids, bro. And I was like in the barbecue, sitting in my chair, like, you know, busting a chicken grub, and like almost dropped my whole joint. Like, his story was so sad that I was like, yo, I feel like I gotta do something. Now, it was like that moving, and I actually thought about it for a second. You know, still don't know if that's something I would want to do, but sometimes, man, it's tough because there's so much work to be done in so many various spaces, and you can't do everything alone. But I often feel like I should be doing more, and you know, it's something I struggle with. But it is what it is.
All right, hold on. Andy says, bro, this came in the chat, and Kamari had the wild pause-worthy statement. Whoa. Listen.
Kamar is balling, man. Ant, what's good?
K Lang says, "Yo, Kamari, that closed caption spelling with name with a K. I don't have no control over that."
Yeah, that's white supremacy. Thank you so much for that. May 27th though. Oh, you May 28th, Gemini. Okay, all right, Kev, you May 28th. All right, that's what's up. Me and family went last year. Definitely was a great time. Dope.
Okay, all the rich guys is there.
Dope. Kumar was a fan of the views.
Don't fall into that.
Kumar was in the Tom Jr. Corey doing the wobble with Roland Martin.
Wobble with me. Get in there. Yeah.
All right. Dr. Sev Talks Money says, I thought about becoming a foster parent, but I'm scared because some of these kids have a lot of issues. Not that it's their fault. Crazy part, I thought about that too, but there's some foster kids that are like just born already in the system, So, but if you take one of the older kids, like I thought about that too. But like I told you, it's just something I struggle with in terms of like thinking, am I doing enough, right? Because there's so many issues that we face as a people, man. And because I do some of the work I do, and you hear some of these stories, man, they're like heartbreaking, man. They're heartbreaking.
So you have nieces and nephews just as important. My uncles are the truth. Concussion voice.
Tell the truth. But listen, I do have those, Kev, and our uncles are very important. My uncle is my hero. Like one of my uncles is literally my hero. So I agree that those are important. And like I said, it's just something I struggle. I think about from time to time, like, could I be doing more? That's all. Like we made a decision, like, yo, we're gonna travel and not have kids. But then sometimes I see these situations and it's like, am I being selfish? And I question myself. That's all.
No, I mean, I really think it all depends on how you want to get in, where you feel you put the most value. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's selfish, right? Everybody can't do everything. Mm-hmm. And an exhausted person is no good to anybody. So
that's true.
We our heart, because my heart goes out to him. I just know I'm struggling with my dog. I damn sure know I don't think I can do it with foster kids.
Yo, man, I heard you say about your dog several times in the last couple. What's going on with your dog? What's going on with your dog, man?
Listen, man, my dog is a menace right now, man. But my son's about to go. My dog's 6 months now. I'm gaining weight like a champ. Costing me money otherwise. And my son's about to go to college. And it's like, the tuition's about to be expensive. So I'm going to listen, the most revolutionary thing we can do as Black folks is take care of our families first. Because, the people, do everything they can to separate us, and always have and always will. So we gotta keep that in mind. We gotta keep that in mind.
I was just really sharing with our audience like some of my struggles, because I think about that. I think about that at times, like in terms of our community, like it is what it is, man. The movie The Sound of Hope had me thinking more about foster.
I never heard of that before. You heard of that before, John?
No, never heard of that. It's a fly picture, Nicole. Dr. Sev, I have foster care cousins that became adopted. The last time we mentioned foster care was 40 years ago.
Okay.
Struggling with your dog, I almost fell off this chair.
Listen, I'm just sharing my truth.
That's not the first time he said that. The last couple of weeks, he's been complaining about his dog. I'm like, what's the dog doing?
Listen, man, I got to get up early in the morning. I feel like the Gap Man out here, Uncle Charlie.
That helps you with discipline, man.
Okay, but discipline still kicks your ass. We kick my ass at least. But listen, as we continued on, there's a video I wanted to show y'all. Not of myself, though. It's funny. I shared, not this video, but there's another video I shared. Got no views. On Facebook, it got like 1 million views. So I always find that interesting. But as we set this up, this is the video of, I want to say his name is Mr. Earl. This is a man who makes $12 an hour and was able to amass a whole lot of money. He didn't make a whole lot of chicken, y'all, but this is our first example tonight of how anybody can become a millionaire.
Shout out to Earl Crawley, man, Uncle Earl.
long ago, I met Earl Crawley.
How you doing?
But everyone here calls him
Square.
Mr. Earl.
Yeah, we can talk about some finances.
He's worked as an attendant at this parking lot in Baltimore for 44 years.
So you really think it's going to improve the gas?
Funny thing, though, everyone was asking Mr. Earl about money.
Nickel and dime, nickel and dime.
That's right. Is that booth his pulpit where he's preaching the gospel of investing?
Sure is. He makes my day every time I see him.
Oh, come on now. Seriously. Investing?
How you like that gold now?
607.
Earl told me he's never made more than $12 an hour, never earned more than $20,000 a year.
How you
Wow.
So how could he know something about corporate profits?
Spider's gonna
I had to pry.
So, Earl, what's your net worth?
$500,000
$500,000?
Yeah.
From working here?
working here.
That's amazing.
A last statement.
And there it is in his statements, over $500,000 net worth on a parking lot wage. Now Mr. Earl had
Hold on, we not even talking about home equity. Straight statement.
my full attention.
It paid off too.
Do it.
Stop working so hard and let the money work for you.
Earl's first lesson came at age 13. His mother had him working the fruit stalls to help pay the family bills. He got to keep just a few quarters for himself.
The time my mother started taking my money that I earned on Lexington Market, that it wasn't money just to be thrown away. It was there to be used.
Economics aside, Earl had another obstacle to overcome.
Tebow is
He tells me he's dyslexic. Back in the 50s, that meant settling for a life of low-wage manual labor jobs. So Earl figured he'd better sock away what little money he was making. It was just $1 here and $1 there, starting with savings stamps, and that led to savings bonds. At 26, he got married. And by the late 60s, Earl was feeding 3 children on a meager $80 a week.
It was tough, but because we had to sacrifice a lot.
And the budget only got tighter when Earl and Beverly opted to send their kids to Catholic school instead of public school, which was free. Earl took extra jobs to pay the tuition, and you better believe he made every penny count.
Elementary school, I would ask for lunch money, and he would give me $1. Lunch was 85 cents, and he would reply before I walked out the door, "I want my change."
As the years rolled by, Earl kept saving what seemed like meaningless amounts. He started investing $25 each month into a mutual fund and did that consistently for 15 years. By the late 70s, his net worth was $25,000.
Later, as the children got older, he decided to play the stock market. And he bought 1 share, and well, the rest is history.
He bought stock in blue chips like IBM and Coca-Cola that paid dividends, and
instead of taking the dividends and pocketing it, let it set or let it reinvest itself, and it increased my shares. And the more shares I had, the more dividend I had. Eventually, the more money I have down the road.
so where did the so-called slow learner learn so much about mutual funds and blue chips and dividend reinvestment plans?
We're going to split this year.
It all comes back to that parking lot. And this is my favorite part of Earl's story. You see, his lot is smack dab in the middle of a financial district where he picked the brains of brokers and bankers and lawyers for their financial advice.
What's going on? You got any advice for me today in the markets?
No, I'm just trying to find out something from you.
All right.
Talk to everybody and listen to advice that everybody give me and take it from there.
Earl, why don't we take a look at what you've got in the portfolio now? And see.
Earl had trouble reading, so instead, he listened. He believed in the power of compound interest and stocks for the long haul, which brings us back to the present. Today, Earl's stock portfolio alone is worth more than $500,000. And yes, his house is paid for. And no, he doesn't carry any credit card debt.
He's somebody to emulate, not only as an investor, but as an individual, and how to live your life and make the best of what the Lord gave you.
Now, Earl is paying it forward.
Here comes Brenda.
He's gifting shares from his portfolio to people like Brenda Thomas, who never dreamed they could have enough money to invest.
And that was Coca-Cola.
Because you told me to reinvest my dividends, I now have 77 shares.
I'm excited about it.
I wouldn't have it if it wasn't for Mr. Earl. And he made it so easy.
If you don't have the money for the
And
whole
not
share,
only is he gifting
this
shares
is
to a
the-
local church, he's starting an investment club there to get everyone investing.
Our goal is every member of the church will own stock, and then they're going to transfer into their family members. So starting here, it's just going to blow up.
It makes me feel good to see someone actually going on and took my advice and went on and did it. That's really a good feeling.
So from his little green shack, Earl is helping others and preaching the gospel of investments. And at the end of my day with Mr. Earl, he told me his good fortune happened not in spite of, but because of his disability.
I always used to say that I must have been the dumbest thing in school or the dumbest thing to couldn't learn, but God gave me the gift to listen and act behind it, and it's one of the best things I ever had to me.
Well, shout out to Mr. Earl. Listen and act behind that. What do y'all think about that?
I mean, that's a story that me and Corey also covered this on another pod years ago. It was great watching it again because I forgot parts of the story until you replayed the whole thing. I think the dopest part about it is him paying it forward, right? Because he got the information, he got the knowledge, and now he's paying it forward to people in his church. He's literally gifting shares to people. And I think it's dope specifically for people that look like us, because I was reading some data. I mean, let me read this data to you real fast. 66% of white families are in the stock market and 34% are not in the market. But you know what that number is for our people? It's literally almost reverse. 39% of black families are invested in the market. 61% of our people do not even invest in the stock market.
Yeah.
And to me, there's all the other assets. Everyone knows I'm a real estate guy and all that, but the true wealth in this country is made in the market. It is what it is, right? And to see that a majority of our folks are not even in the market. Sometimes I sit back because we create content, we talk about the markets, we talk about other things, we do our Sunday class and all that. And I've said this before. I feel like, sometimes things can get repetitive and I'm like, should we be doing something else, blah, blah, blah. But then I read statistics like that and it's like, we still haven't reached enough people. Like there's still so much work to do and there's still so much education to give because the majority of our folks still fear. They have a fear. Well, there's two things, right? And me and Kamari talked about this earlier today. I think sometimes we don't realize just how overall as a people, we don't have resources and we need to really work on that. And, the powers that be owe us some bread. But the other part about it is even our folks that actually do work and are upwardly mobile, a lot of them just aren't invested in the market at all. And a lot of them still have a fear of the market. And there's just people becoming, they're minting new millionaires every day. And we're missing out on a lot of wealth building, is what I want to say. So I think the part about Mr. Earl sharing his experience and sharing his story and, paying it forward is the most powerful thing about that little clip. That's my opinion.
What did you think, Cor?
I think that the part where he's paying it forward, like Jim said, and also doing it in the church, where he's turning a place where people congregate and spend their physical time and energy into a place where they can turn that physical time and energy into some money, right? Because as much as the church gives eternal hope to those who believe, it also needs to give some current hope to those who live in those neighborhoods so that the church can continue to exist. Not on no metaphysical level like that. If black people move out of neighborhoods, there will be no black churches. Other cultures and ethnicities will start their own church and go to their own churches. They're not going to a black church, just for the record. So what he's doing is he's creating a community. You know what I mean? So shout out to him.
I often think about this, right? Because we see the power of investment clubs, right? Because we all belong to an investment club. that over a couple year period has built up a nice portfolio. We are on our way to 1 million, and eventually we'll hit that. And I think about what we've been able to build over a short period of time collectively. And I often think about a lot of the Black churches and Black organizations. And I'm like, what if they would have had, like, think about the Divine Nine. You think about the Black churches, all of the organizations we had.
I'll tell you one Black church that did do it.
Zion.
No, I'm just saying, we always talk about the Dr. Reverend when we talking about, when the man whose space we're about to be in.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying
Zion. That started as Zion Baptist Church, though.
Yeah, Zion Baptist Church. But what I was saying is, what if every church or every organization just had like one component where they all had like an investment club, right? I think about this often when I talk to people who are members and high-ranking folks in the Divine Nine, and it's like they always raising money for this and raising money for that. I'm like, what if they all had like an investment club with the amount of members they have like globally? I always think about that. Like if a lot of our like organizations that existed even historically.
I mean, I think I do think about that. I wish they had an investment club. Also, I wish they had an active stance in investing in Black business. Also, I wish they had an active stance in investing in politics as well. They did some stuff during Obama, and I know everything's not publicized, but it's not an active, ongoing thing. All of those things, in my opinion, should be publicized and shown that, yeah, we don't just party, because they don't. We do stuff in the community, charitable-wise and economic-wise. We do it both.
That takes leadership, man, because I told you, like, coming into 2025, one of my things is about institution building, which is why I've been trying to get more active with the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists, which is why I've been, like, getting more involved in terms of IB Big and what we're doing with the investment club. But one thing I can say is that is one of the things that irritates me. You brought it up. You just triggered me right there. Because there are other organizations that I try to participate with just to build with people that look like me. And all they want to do is throw damn parties. And I'm like, dude, we got to get down to business. There's too much work to be done. There's nothing wrong with partying. But if all you're going to do is party, like, take me off your list and I'm blocking you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got work to do, man. Like, I like to have fun, but come on, y'all.
I would agree. I would agree, homeboy.
Yeah, man. So, but there's a number of stories like Mr. Earl. We found a couple other stories as well, but I think the Mr. Earl story is the one that resonates the most with us, man, because, Mr. Earl, $12 an hour, bro. Yo, $12 an hour, dog. It takes 3 hours to get a date. Like, what's going on? Like, what? That's not even a lot of money, man.
Did you just say that? Did you?
I'm just saying, like, $12 an hour is not a lot of bread.
I work a whole half a shift to get a date. Absolutely crazy.
Mr. Earl was a married, committed man. He wasn't thinking about dates.
I'm just saying in general, like, the fact that he was able to leverage that and to do what he did is just
absolutely
work,
amazing. Because, like somebody
amazing,
said,
bro.
compound interest do mad crazy work. Because Mr. Earl was working out there for pennies on the dollar, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, Don, I'm joking and whatnot, but I thought about Don earlier. It's this bull on TikTok, right? Yo, you talk about people find new ways to create content. So this dude is in California and he's on the skateboard. But what he does is he records himself pulling up to ladies of the evening, I shall call them streetwalkers. And what he does is he tries to get their number. Like, he tries to talk to them as if they're not doing what they're doing. He be like, so he calls it practicing his riz on streetwalkers. But it's hilarious content. But I was like, yo, people be sitting in the crib thinking of ways like, what I'm gonna do to go viral on TikTok? Like, they think of this crazy content, man. Like, our folks are really creative. But I was watching his video today, just dying laughing. It is what it is. It's like the old gold digger videos on YouTube where dudes get the cars and they try to talk. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. For all of my YouTubians out there that spend time on YouTube like I do.
Lord have mercy.
It's a new version of that though.
All right,
anyway,
so we have another one. And Jimmy, I didn't get the chance to read this whole thing, but I thought it was interesting. Right? She ran rings around. This IRS auditor secretly turned a $5 5K nest egg into a $22 million fortune. Here are 3 simple strategies that made Anna Schreiber, Schreiber, say that name for me, Jimmy.
I know Schreiber. I'm laughing at Thunder's comment, but anyway, your Aunt Schreiber, she turned 5K. She's an IRS auditor. She had 5K and turned it into a $22 million fortune using some of the same principles and ideas that Mr. Earl did. So, she never brought home more than $4,000 a year or received a promotion in her 23-year IRS career. But when she died at the age of 101, the former auditor had amassed a fortune over $20 million. She believed that she was held back due to being a Jewish woman, and she retired at 51 in 1944 with just $5,000 in her savings account. And she flipped that all kinds of ways and got that up to 20 million. Scroll up a little bit, Kamari. Okay, they're going to hit us with a couple ads. All right, so over the next 5 decades, she turned that into a portfolio of carefully selected stocks, launching herself from an unremarkable first career into a stunningly successful second act. You think Warren Buffett, you know the guy, he's good at this sort of thing. Her lawyer, Ben Clark, told the New York Times that she died in 95, but she ran rings around Warren Buffett. So a little bit about her story. She was extremely frugal. Even while growing her substantial wealth, Schreiber kept a frugal mindset, choosing to live off just her small pension from the IRS and her Social Security. And that was what her broker told the Washington Post. She wore the same black hat and black coat every day through summer and winter. She walked to work to save on bus fare. She was saving 80% of her salary.
Wow.
I'm gonna repeat
Saving
that.
rates matter.
I'm gonna repeat that. She was saving 80% of her salary.
And
He
so
said that.
this, go ahead.
No, I was just going to finish reading what it says. It says that according to Money Magazine, that he didn't think that Schreiber spent more than $2 on food in a week. In those days, you can get a hot dog and lunch for 15 cents, but I know she found an even cheaper price. She went to extremes to save money. She was clearly dedicated to spending far less than she earned, which left plenty of funds to add to her portfolio. But let's go to what she actually did. She invested in what she knew, and she did it for the long term. That's the key part, the long term. So she invested in things like Pepsi Cola, Chrysler Pharmaceutical, Pfizer, Bristol Myers, and as a nod to her love of movies, she bought things like Columbia and Paramount. She also kept herself informed by attending company shareholder meetings with a bag in her hand in case they provided free lunch.
Who told y'all to do that, though? Who told y'all to do that?
Like Buffett, she was a patient long-term investor who reinvested dividends and interest and rarely sold any of her stocks. Right? Yeah, man. So, you just scroll back up,
So goes to
ahead,
show
Corey.
is something that I've been saying for years. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you can reinvest into yourself. Right. So if you make 100K and you can only save 5, and I make 60K and I can save 30, I make more money than you because I can put more of my money to work. It doesn't really matter how much you make. It's about how much you can get back into your savings and investing. It's about percentages. It's really about percentages, right?
Real quick. Go ahead, Corey. You finish.
Yeah, so it's more about the percentage of the money that you're bringing that you can get back into the market than it is about the amount.
Look, I was about to make a joke about taxes coming up and how Kamari's about to go crazy, and look what he did, Corey. The brother straight highlighted it. He straight highlighted it. I knew he was about to go crazy.
I knew you was about to say that too.
Yeah. So anyway, she was a tax efficient investor. As a former employee of the tax agency, Schreiber found ways to avoid paying them more than she had to. She held on to her stocks rather than selling them, which helped her to avoid capital gains tax. And since she reportedly hated paying commissions later in life, she transferred some of her dividends into tax-exempt bonds. That's a play.
Munis. Yeah, it's muni bonds.
Yeah, man. So she was about that life, man. And this is someone who never made more than $4,000. Imagine never making more than $4,000 in income, and somehow you amass a $20 million fortune. That is absolutely. But this is why I say, this is why that number is so troubling. That over 60% of our folks don't put it in the market because there is no other vehicle that can give you these kind of returns, even over a long period. There's nothing else you can do this with. Bitcoin, obviously, but I digress.
For now.
I mean, listen, man, Bitcoin is built from a technological standpoint to go up forever, but I digress. She planned to leave her money to education, which as a charitable donation. So another thing about her story, which is similar to Mr. Earl, is a lot of these folks that you see who are everyday millionaires are very philanthropic later in life. And Mr. Earl is like putting this whole church on and giving away stock. So, man, so salute to Scheiber, man. Scheiber, Mrs. Scheiber, figured out a way to turn $4K in income to over $20 million. That's bonkers. That's bonkers, especially when Kamari be spending 4 bands on this dinner. Like, Scheiber took 4 bands. I mean, like, when he be going to Brooklyn Chop and whatnot. So she took 4 bands and turned it into 20 million. That's nasty work. That's crazy. So salute to her, man.
So we got one more story, but before we get to that story, let's get to the people.
We got some more stories. I think we got like 2 more stories, don't we?
Well, I figured we weren't gonna be here too much longer, but
all right, let's jump right to the next one though. Let's get through them all, man. I want to share these stories. People are loving the stories, bro, because these are inspiring stories. Because it's easy to talk about, celebrity did this, celebrity do this. We talk about people who are making small amounts of money and is running a bag to the moon. You know what I'm saying? So you pull up the next story. I'll get to the comments. You know what I'm saying, and then we gonna get that one popping until you pull it up. Pause. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get back to this one here. All right, so powerfully impressive. Thanks for sharing. That was done on Mr. Earl story. So Dr. Seth Talks Money says, I started my daughter early. She is years ahead of where I was at her age. I need to get my extended family involved. Dr. Sev, that is the way it's supposed to be. I often have this like saying, I'll be like, look, if you're not a little bit jealous of the next generation, then it's a problem because you should put them in a place where they are ahead of you. So I think that's amazing that you're making the sacrifice to put her ahead of you. Look, I got a great nephew right now who already got a brokerage account, and he's like 6 weeks old. He already got Bitcoin. He already up on his Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's about. Jarrell says he made the best of his environment. Speaking of Mr. Earl, utilized the knowledge around and applied it. That's dope. And then he brought it back to the people. I think that last part is so crucial. He brought it back to the people. Jarrell says he was not playing about his bread though. Told dude better bring back my change. He told his son like, yo, I'm gonna need that 15 cent, B. Stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying? Agree, Corey. He's teaching stewardship where most churches focus on giving. 2 separate things.
Facts.
Yeah. Miss Edie says, like the Susu. People trust the Susu, but fearful of investing in the stock market. Trustworthy leadership. It's down laughing at the 3 hours. Like, you know what I'm saying? 3 hours to get a day that's terrible. I mean, listen, Thunder slandered me. Thunder said, I just came on the phrase streetwalker. Of course it's Jimmy. That's Kamari building that narrative around you. Don't believe that, man.
Listen, Thunder said that, not me. I mean, we know Jimmy mentioned the SW every time we broadcast.
I support all Black-owned businesses. All right, Dina says, I'm loving these stories. So that's what we want to get. We got a couple more for you, Dina, before we get out of here. Miss Edie's Kitchen graduated from Yeshiva University. All right, that's dope. I didn't know that.
Miss Edie, are you Jewish? I didn't know Black folks could go to Yeshiva.
Oh, that's dope. Shout out to all the Black Jews out there. I was watching a video. I'm going to share it with you later, Kamari. I should have shared it before we come on the show. It was Little Richard, who was, I don't know if he was joking or not saying he was Jewish. But Little Richard was on this interview talking about all the people that he put on. I was like, whoa. I didn't know that.
A lot.
He put on the Rolling Stones. He put on the Beatles.
And the Beatles, yes.
He put on James Brown. He put on, he put all these folks, like he put them all on. I was like, yo, I didn't know all that. I didn't know that part of his history. But he was also talking about being Jewish. That's what made me think about it. All right, so Thunder says
Little Richard should be studied. Like, he is definitely a hero.
I didn't know that. I had no idea about his body of work. Anyway, Thunder says, speaking of capital gains, I heard the governor of Texas passed a bill where there will be no tax on capital gains. Ooh, I didn't know that. What does it mean? What do I think of that? It thinks that, Corey, you looking for a neighbor down there? Like, what's going on? Like,
hey, listen, Broski.
I'm just saying.
Man, I already created a neighbor, man, because Dr. Chas is the street from me. She ran the same play we did.
Nice. Yo, and so Thunder, you bring up to a different point, right? I'm watching what's going on currently politically, and a lot of power is going back to the states, right? So it made me think, what is the long play? Like, what are they doing by giving so many like so much power back to states? Like they're giving state rights to kind of like decide on a lot of different things financially, socially. And I'm like, what does the future look like? I think the future, just me thinking out loud, is states competing for residents. And I think we'll see a lot of people who probably in the past weren't willing to get up and move, willing to like go to a different state, because I think states are going to start doing things like that to compete for residents.
Well, they've been competing. I mean, but now it's definitely stepping up.
I think it's going to be open competition where they're going to start doing like diss tracks, like, yo, leave your little raggedy city of such and such and come over here, join Death Row.
If you don't want your governor all in the videos.
You don't want your governor all in the videos.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think that's what we're doing. Oh, I think we already answered
Jamel,
that.
I'll probably do something better, more refined on that video, and it'll be in the village.
Okay,
at
yeah,
some
yeah.
point.
Come to the
I
village
don't know.
for it.
I don't know when though. I don't know when.
That was a good story. We got a couple more stories. Miss Schreiber lived in a rent-stabilized apartment. That helps. Rent is ridiculous in NYC. That's why everyone is leaving. Yeah, folks be running them plays on them rent-stabilized apartments too. They was trying to bring that to Philly, but nah. Damn, Texas on that wave. I was just looking at that. Also, but it's happening in Missouri. Also, look, Missouri, but trying to bust a move too. I've been watching the TikToks of the youngster who bails out pro. They look in their eyes are full of hope, and after he bails them out, the pros, yo, Aunt, send me those. I ain't see that one. I gotta see what that content is.
Yo, that's crazy.
No. People be on. Yo, what I tell you about the kids in TikTok is this, right? There's a lot of social media. The kids on TikTok are very creative. Sometimes it's nefarious behavior, but they're creative in their content creation. Don says Kamari was debating the importance of SWs earlier this week. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Don. Thanks for letting me know, because he tried to paint this narrative.
Damn, Don, I forgot about that. What did I say, Don? Remind me. Because he's probably talking about Mike's show. Because Don be on me with me over there as well.
I attended my master's in social work degree from Yeshiva University. Where's Delair School of Social Work? Okay, all right. Okay, that's dope. Congratulations. It says things competing for residents. That actually sounds plausible. I think it's going to happen like really out in the open.
Well, no, I mean, you're seeing it happen now. A lot of people are leaving California and going to Texas, right?
Yes, they are. Or Vegas, yeah. You're right.
People, yeah, Vegas or Nevada to be more specific. Because people are also going to PR as well.
Reno, Nevada. The product. I really mean it. All right, my fault. You don't want your governor on the videos. I attended that concert at NYC when Shook said that during the second annual Source Award. Oh, you was in the building. I can only imagine the tension. Listen, man, I can only imagine the tension. The tension had to be crazy.
They say Puffy could have set it off if he really wanted to.
Man, I don't want to get into any sort of talk about that man right now. But with that being said, though, let's get to the next story. You got the next story ready, Kamari?
Here we go.
96-year-old secretary, right? These people be living forever, too, by the way. 96-year-old secretary quietly amasses fortune, then donates $8.2 million. That's crazy. Right, let's get to her story. So scroll down some more. Sylvia Bloom was the legal secretary from Brooklyn. So let's get to the article, though. Even by the dizzying standards of New York City philanthropy, a recent $6.24 million donation to the Henry Street settlement on the Lower East Side was a whopper. It's the largest single gift from an individual to the social service group in its 125-year history. It was not donated by some billionaire benefactor, but by a frugal legal secretary from Brooklyn who toiled at the same law firm for 67 years until she retired at 96 and died not long afterward in 2016. Her name was Sylvia Bloom, and even her closest friends and relatives had no idea she had amassed a fortune over the decades. She did this by shrewdly observing the investment made by lawyers she served. So peep game again. She worked at a law firm. She was watching what everybody was doing and then bust plays. She was a secretary in an era where they ran their bosses' lives, including their personal investment, recalled her niece, Jane Lokshin. So when the boss would buy a stock, scroll up, she would purchase it for him and then buy the same stock for herself, but in smaller amounts because she had a secretary's salary. since Miss Bloom never talked about this, even those closest to her, she never talked to anybody. She cultivated more than $9 million among 3 brokerage houses and 11 banks, emerged only as at the end of her life. An oh my God moment, said Mrs. Lokshin, the executor of Mrs. Bloom's estate. I realized she had millions and she never mentioned a word. I don't think she thought it was anybody's business but her own. Salute to her for being able to keep that quiet.
Salute to her insider trading.
My fault. Well, she didn't necessarily take their legal work and invest that. She was just basically copying their trades. By the way, as an aside, people are making a fortune doing that now.
Yes, they are.
And
there's all
lot
kind of services doing that.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. So anyway, Ms. Lokshin, the long-standing treasurer of the settlements board, called the group's executive director, blah, 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 asked him, was he sitting down? We were all agape, just blown away. The money would endow the settlement's Expanded Horizons College Success Program, which helps disadvantaged students prepare for and complete college. The gift, made in February, was publicly disclosed last week. So when they first got it, they had no idea who the lady was or what kind of bread she had and was just in shock. So Ms. Bloom left them 6.2 of her 9 million bands. Ms. Bloom joins the ranks of unassuming, magnanimous millionaires next door who have died with fortunes far larger than their lifestyles ever was suggested. Like Ms. Bloom, Leonard Gigowski, a shopkeeper from New Berlin who died in 2015, left $13 million fortune to fund scholarships. Grace Groner lived in a 1-bedroom home in Lake Forest and directed a $7 million stake on her alma mater. So there's a bunch of folks, but that was her story. So her story, because we're going to get to the last story, is she was a legal secretary. She saw what the people in her law firm were doing, and she literally just copied it and ran up a bag over a long period of time. But I think, to me, what I take from this story is she knew how to shut her mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because you know the one thing about people thinking you have resources is everybody asking you for something. She avoided that. She lived the I'm broke baby mentality, man.
She ain't say nothing to nobody. Like nobody.
She was Money Mitch before Money Mitch.
So let me ask y'all a question for those watching. Would y'all be able to keep the fact from family and close friends that you had $9 million? Like, would y'all be able to hide that from the people closest to you?
My wife is hell. There's no way possible. I know everything. Like things that I told her that I forgot. Things that like she know everything, bro. Like
Listen,
she know
man.
if I make 15 cents more an hour in my job. Like
plus some of us like stunting on people too. So there's the other piece of it too.
Like for me, you wouldn't be able to tell because I'm gonna still be in t-shirts and baggy shorts. But the only way you would be able to tell is because I'll be having a giraffe and a orangutan walking around in my background. So that'd be the first.
Not an orangutan.
There'll be giraffe.
Did you say giraffe?
Giraffe walking around in my background. That'd be the first clue. But besides that, you would have what I got. You know what I mean?
All right, so
oh boy.
So with that being said, let's get the last story so then we can get out of here. But we got one more story we want to go over real fast of the millionaires next door. Just to let everybody know that, you know, not really about income, is what you keep, and whether you got that discipline to build over a long period of time. While Kamari finds that article, let me get to
article. I was reading more of the other article. I was being newsy.
Yeah, stop being newsy, man. So
no.
Miss Shiver had hella discipline. They are coming to Vegas and making 200K homes, 800K homes. We pushing them numbers up on y'all. I think it was about not having restrictions on watching, you know what I'm saying, watching Prime.
Oh, I'll tell you what I said. I think sex work should be legalized. I also said I think drugs should be legalized too. So yes, I believe that. I stand on that. I own that. I said that. There you go, Jimmy. Run with that. Have fun.
I mean, listen, I know you're trying to paint a narrative and all that, you know what I'm saying? But, you know.
I don't have to paint it. Thunder said it. I didn't say Nathan.
Anthony Bolton says she got a haircut like Dick Van Dyke. You out of pocket, bro. CP Guy says that 61% stat doesn't surprise me about Black folks investing. From my personal experience and what I see, we have a significant amount of misguidance in what we value. I'm very concerned for our future.
I mean, what will be dope though, and maybe this is something we'll do. We should to leave 2 our favorite nonprofit charity and be like, this is where you get this after we've all passed away. And this is from the Black Wolf Rebels, Brotherhood, the Rebel Coalition, whatever you want to call us.
All right, so Dr. Seth Talks Money says, including congressperson. We talk about following people's trades and investment. This is absolutely true. So Thunder has a question. If you had to start from scratch and only had 22 years to build it up, what would you invest in? Rhythm spoons. No, so I think honestly, the first thing I would invest in myself.
Rhythm spoons.
The first thing I would invest in is myself to get my skills up, to get more income, to then have to invest. And then I would run my 3-fund portfolio play. And by the way, nothing I say here is investment advice. It's for informational and educational purposes only. But I'll be in Top T, I'll be in IBIT, and I'll be in XLRE, and I go mind my business and, go play in the sand. That's what I would do personally, not financial advice.
Okay.
After I invest in myself, though, because I definitely want to get my skills up to pay the bills. Okay. Dr. Seb says, I got a settlement recently and only me and my bank account knows. So she knows how to be quiet about that chicken. Corey said an orangutan in his background. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be riding the African elephant down Broad Street. So it's going to be I don't think I'll be able to hide it from my wife, my friends and stuff. Hell yeah. I'm usually in the cut anyways. I heard that.
Y'all hilarious.
They will never do sex work because the divorce system will not make any money. No man will get married anymore. I couldn't hide that now, Million. I'll be riding a zebra and giraffe like they riding horses on Yellowstone, like Corey said. Yeah. Some people got to get stunted on, man. Let's get to the last story, though.
Listen, man.
Yeah.
There'll be signs. There'll just be very, very subtle signs that if you know me, that you know I'm stunting like a monk, like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. I still be in my hoodie and my t-shirt and my, my khakis and out here looking like
Corey had carrying around like Prince Nassim Hamed.
Yeah, man. It's just that I'll be walking a rhinoceros down my block. You know what I mean?
He's gonna change his name. He's gonna change his name to Prince Jaffer. We're like,
yeah, man. I'm just gonna
money. He got his own money.
I'm just gonna put, you be walking around with a rhinoceros on a leash.
I be getting vehicles that don't even have no business being stretched. Like, why he got that stretch? I mean, like something more stupid. My man got a stretch Toyota Camry to cost.
If you see me with
hey Corey, give me a random stretch Toyota Camry. Like, no business being stretched, but I'm gonna do it.
Out of control, stretch Toyota Camry.
Out of control. A stretch Camry the color of duck sauce. But let's go, Kamar. Let's get to it. So a janitor secretly amassed an $8 million fortune and left most of it to his library and his hospital. All right, let's go. Scroll down a little bit.
I got you.
All right. You don't need to earn a massive paycheck to become a millionaire. As a one-time Vermont-based janitor and gas station attendant, Ronald Reed demonstrated you could reach the 7-figure mark on a modest salary. Unbeknownst to everyone around him until he died at age 92 in June 2014, Reed quietly amassed the $8 million fortune thanks to smart spending and investing habits. Even Reed's family was tremendously surprised about finding out about his hidden wealth. He was a hard worker, but I don't think anybody had an idea he was a multimillionaire. Reed's stepson, Philip Brown, told the Reformer in 2015. He came from humble beginnings. He was the first in his family to graduate from high school, and he served in North Africa, Italy, and Pacific Theater during World War II. So after the war, he came home to work as a gas station and a janitor at JCPenney's. He married a woman and had 2 children. He maintained a frugal lifestyle. Go back up a little bit. He maintained a frugal lifestyle, never spending money unless he had to. Friends remember him driving a secondhand Toyota Yaris, using safety pins to hold his coat together, and cutting his own firewood well into his 90s. I'm sure if he earned $50 a week, he probably invested 40 of it. Sheesh. He was putting that bread in the market. All right. He was also a good stock picker and had the control to hold on to stocks for the long haul. Strategies billionaire Warren Buffett recommends. Mr. Reed owned at least 95 stocks. God damn, you talk about diversified. At the time of his death, many which he had held for years, if not decades. Among his holdings were Procter & Gamble, JP Morgan Chase, General Electric, Dow Chemical, When he died, he also had large stakes in J.M. Smucker, CVS Health, and Johnson & Johnson. Wow. The lifelong resident of Vermont left $6 million of his fortune to his local library and hospital, and it was the talk of the town. $1.2 million library donation. People still come in and ask about it and reference it. So he left it to a library and a hospital. So that's dope. I mean, it's pretty much, we ain't got to read the rest of it, but the whole point of it is the same thing. It's the same story over and over again.
I was trying to see what he did for his kids, though. Said he had 2 kids.
They got to go get out how they live.
Oh, well.
Get your own, dickweed.
Like you said, the theme is repeated over and over and over again. Be frugal, stack your bread, and invest. It's really that simple.
Yeah, man. Let's see what else we got here. Thunder says, I will wear a t-shirt with chili stains and a beat up old car. Some financial trauma going on with some of these people. Hey, this is true. This part is true too. I think everybody has financial trauma, whether we know it or not.
Yep. And I mean, some of these people came up during the Great Depression, and they were also immigrants, so they look at things totally different.
Yeah, man. So with that being said, those are a number of stories, man, that we found of people, everyday people. Some of them, like Dr. Sev said, have financial trauma where they, sometimes people can take things too far, but I think it's dope, though. I mean, the fact of the matter is, all of us have an opportunity. The one lady didn't even start till she was 51 and built. She took 5K to 40. What is it? 5K to 20 million? 5K to 20 million. She didn't start until she was 51. Most of us, or a lot of us right now, aren't 51. I'm not 51.
But that answers the question, right? What do you do if you started late? It's never too late.
Start.
Yep.
That's what you do. What you do is you start.
22 million. She ran it up to 22 million.
From 5K, and she was 51 years old. So, like I said, the majority of folks watching us ain't 51. I'm not 51. I mean, Corey's not 51. Kamari, I think he's like 52. But outside of that, though, I'm joking, Kamari. I know you're 52, bro. I'm just messing with you.
I ain't that far from it, though. Thanks for the reminder.
He said, if I ain't better than Big, I'm the closest one. All right. Yeah, man. 5K to 22. Kamari likes this one too because of the whole tax and IRS thing. But
listen, I keep telling you, tax code is a cheat code. And so part of her assuming or amassing that 22 million was because she acts efficiently. Can't ignore that.
Hey, man, listen, y'all out there, max them Rolfs out, yo.
Absolutely.
Not investment advice, but max them Rolfs out. Yeah, it's never too late because you don't know how long you got. That's true. People are like, man, that's too late. I ain't gonna be here. Next thing you know, you live to be 110, and you out here eating dog food because you don't got no other choice.
I know there's a lot of older people who do that.
Oh yeah. Listen, who was the lady on Good Times?
I remember that. I remember that story on Good Times.
Yeah.
You think she played options? I don't think she did. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, from what it says, it was just all long term. There was no options, no leaps, no short term, no day trades, no nothing. I mean, Jimmy actually says this every Sunday, right? You don't even have to do options. You can just buy and hold and be cool. Just
so, CT, I'm not sure what comment you're talking about being worried for our folks. If that's what you're talking about, I'm worried for our folks every day. So, I don't know what comment that was in reference to. I started in my late 30s when I came to this country. Not a millionaire, but I was able to walk away from my job and rebuild after divorce in my late 50s. Never too late.
Salutes to you. Salutes to you.
Dog food at the neighbor on Good Times. Damn.
It was cat food, actually.
You talk about a traumatizing show. You ever try to watch Good Times now as an adult? And you realize, like, I was in the crib laughing. Anyway, man, that's our show for today. Friday. What we talking about Friday, Kamar? You know already?
Bitcoin.
Yes, they could keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Side note, if you're already in the village, this week's episode of Stack Stats at Dodge Tryon is already available. You know what I'm saying? 2 pods. Shakur dropped 2 pods already for the village. So, you know.
Now, we did say we were going to talk about leverage this Friday. We got a pretty interesting story. And like I said, we changed Corey's name to Rick. So.
We got 2 stories for Friday. We got to talk about leverage and tell the story of Rick.
If you're going to continue to call me Rick, I got to put my hands behind my head and do this.
No, not that Rick. No, not that Rick.
Go ahead, Corey. Go off. Go
Ravishing Rick Rude. Got to do the Ravishing Rick Rude. I know y'all too young. Some of y'all to remember Ravishing Rude. He do this. You gonna call me Rick? That's how it's gotta be, baby.
Oh, man.
We got Corey doing the goddamn belly rub today. Ain't this something?
No, man, you call me Rick. If you call me Rick, I gotta put my hands behind. It's like automatically. I gotta start doing this, man.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Yo, I think you referred to the statement of percentage of Caucasians. Yeah, I mean, listen, I worry about our folks every day. I feel like, but I feel like there's more work to do. I feel like we got to get out there and do more teaching, man. One thing I can say about James, he was always at work or finding work or at the pool hall, but he brought the money home. Listen, man, James.
Guess what? Shout out to James.
Shout out to James, man. I mean,
AKA John Amos.
Worked himself to death.
They did him dirty too.
That show was traumatizing, man. I remember when Thelma finally got with the boy that's supposed to play for the Bears, and I just knew they was on their way up. I'm like, all right, it's lit, and then boom. I'm like, come on, cuz.
Yeah,
that show was nothing but fun. Anyway, with that being said, though, that's our show for the day, y'all. Pull Up Friday, 7 p.m. Our Bitcoin giveaway. Freedom Fridays with Kamari used to talk about the underworld the way he likes to. So pull up on Friday. Sunday is finance church. With that being said, though, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Please join the village and also share with your family and friends to get them into the village. We're trying to build the village up, and keep growing the village, man. We got some stuff coming to y'all that are exclusive village content. You know what I'm saying? Hot take: Florida is the worst mother in TV history.
Whoa! Damn.
No, I'm gonna tell you why that can't be true. Because I think watching all 50 shows, every show 50 got, there's a terrible mom in it. Whether we're talking about Rock
Rock is actually the best mom in the whole universe.
Which is saying a lot considering she tried to set up her son. It was pop like.
No, she didn't try. Well, she did it.
Well, yeah. But all right, so I'm not trying, no spoilers. But think about this though. Think about Tasha St. Patrick and what she did like with her kid. Like, she's a terrible mom. But the thing is, she ain't worse than Monet. So the mom from Snowfall, she was trying to do the right thing, but that was as well. It's a lot of terrible moms out there. I can't say Florida is the worst, though. Florida didn't send her kids on hits. What about the chick from The Wire? You better get out there and there where someone's trying not to hustle. She tried to force him out the crib to sell dope. There's some terrible moms on TV, bro.
But shout out to Weebay because he put her in check.
Peggy Bundy was a terrible mom. I mean, there's a lot of terrible moms, bro.
Listen, y'all, we appreciate you all. We will see you all on Friday. Pull up, win some chicken, get some of that Bitcoin, y'all.
Love y'all. Be safe out there, y'all. Black Queens forever.